Hello there, Aquarius, and welcome to your November reading. It's really great to see you again, and as always, I really love looking at these November readings because we're nearly at the end of the year. That gives you a chance to sort of take advantage of what time remains to kind of check off anything that's on your to-do list and also plan ahead. So I can't wait to see what's coming through when we look at the cards, but I already got a message as I started to tune into your energy, into your sign. The direct message, which came more as a phrase than any sort of visual, was don't get lost in the shuffle. And for me, there's a few different connotations of that. The first one is simply for you to make sure that you're not putting so much energy and attention into people around you, situations around you, or even supporting people so much that you're neglecting your own personal care, whether that's your health, your sleep, or just taking care of your body if you're feeling a little bit exhausted so that you don't get sick, etc. So first thing is remember that, especially for those of you who are parents, who might be caring for an older parent, or just in some way, shape, or form are caretakers for people around you, it's really important to begin within so that you have enough energy to give to those people that really need you in their lives. So some of this is going to be about putting up some limits, making sure, again, that you are getting enough nourishment, enough sleep, etc. in your life. The other thing here is, for some of you, it's a very subtle call to action. So don't get lost in the shuffle means if you're at school or in a workplace and you tend to allow other people around you to speak up, or may have something that you want to talk about, but you haven't found or made the time to sort of make a point of doing so, this is the month for activation. Don't allow for everybody else to sort of like speak so loud that you get sort of lost in the shuffle. So some of this is about articulating your concerns, speaking up, acting when it's appropriate. The other part is about putting limits on situations around you, maybe cutting out some extracurriculars or some activities so that you can take care of yourself. So just remember that you're important, so are your goals and your ideas. Find a way to make them shine along with everything else and everyone else, okay? So when I'm looking at your Catalyst card this month, it's reminding you to make time for fun. Make time to see old friends, loved family members, and people that you really just care about in your life. And remember also to celebrate what's important, the little victories, just having a day where your health, your mind, everything is functioning to the best of its ability. And sure, there may be some things that are not going the way you like them, but we forget sometimes about the little blessings. I had a surgery a couple months ago. Once the breathing returned back to normal, I was just grateful for how amazing it was to breathe. And I know that sometimes we take for granted the ability until sometimes we have something taken away, whether it's the ability to walk, to breathe, to think, to speak. So I want you to, today and throughout this month, start every day with a little celebration of something that you've taken for granted, and give that up as an offering to the universe and say, thank you so much. I'm sorry I don't say this more often, but thank you for this God-given ability to do this, or for free will, or for the ability to, like I said earlier, breathe, think, speak clearly. These are beautiful gifts, and not everyone has the same gift. So just be grateful for the little things, and then don't be afraid to pick up the phone and be an instigator of fun as well. So call someone that you're thinking about and say, I'd like to see you. It's been a long time. Okay? Let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards and see what additional notes and advice comes through as I'm reviewing this. Right at the middle, I'm seeing some issues with ownership. So what I want you to be cognizant of is if there's anything in your life where maybe you've signed away your ability to control something, or there's someone in your life that tends to kind of take a really overarching or micromanagement approach towards your life, this is your chance to speak up. That's sort of speaking to what I said earlier about not getting lost in the shuffle. I want you to find your voice. I want you to find a way to take control of it. And the other thing is, this can be from your past. This a lot of times has to do with a partner, a father, usually it's paternal, but it can also be maternal, but someone in your life that had a really strong sort of like handle or control over what was going on. So think about November as a chance for you to undo situations in the past where you may have given away power or let someone else make a decision when you should have been a part of that. So this is a month of empowerment. So think about how to be stronger, how to speak up a little bit more. And the other part of this, as we again look at your catalyst, is to really make sure that you're focusing on positives. So whenever I see this card, it's really about needing to embrace opportunity rather than loss, acknowledging, of course, what hasn't happened, but looking ahead to what is still available, and especially in a month like November. So I want you now to look at projects in your life that you can still do, trips that you can still take, things that you can still do with your money. And I mention money because as we look at the crowning energy, it's really about finding a place of comfort and of wealth and of being more at ease with what your budget is. So for some of you, that means sitting down with the numbers and understanding that you actually may have a lot more than you think, or that you can do a lot more with it than you imagined. So creativity in your financial house is going to be really important throughout November. And creative problem solving, budgeting, and also thinking, possibly for those of you that are just entering the workforce or been at a job and want to try something new, thinking of a new way to bring in income. So don't feel like you're stuck in one particular place when that comes to your life. I also want you to be willing to not only say no, but also say help if there's too much going on. This is reminding you to lean on people around you that have always been there, and also don't be afraid to pick up the phone and ask for help from people who are always asking help from you. So don't be afraid to have people basically be accountable for also giving you some assistance. I want you to pay special attention to your body this month. Pain, persistent pain in your body can also be about pain in your life. So this is a transitional card here as I'm looking at it in the near future. So what it's saying for you for this month is the first 2 to 3 weeks of November are going to be about acknowledging what's causing tension, what's causing stress or pain or discomfort in your life, and deciding, I'm ready to move on, I'm ready to let go, and thinking for those of you that have to work at maybe rehabilitation or things like that, how are you going to create a sense of recovery in your life? For the rest of you, it's about just taking care of yourself and deciding enough is enough. The one thing that I like with this card is it's binary. It's telling you it's time to move on. So as we look here at really your ego this month, it has everything to do with control, which is what I hit on with the center card as well. So I want you to feel that you are in control, and where you're not in control, I want you to take management over that. I do want some of you that are driving an older vehicle to be very cognizant of repair and making sure that it's okay. Whenever I see this card, the Chariot, it has to do with vehicles and particularly like forms of transportation, automobiles. So if there's any sort of maintenance that you've been putting off, don't. Do something this month, take care of it, make sure that your driving situation is safe. And for those of you that have new cars, this has to do with being careful as you are traveling. Make sure that you are not getting distracted by, picking up the phone and talking to someone or texting, or for those of you that are riding a bike or other form of transportation, you really want to keep focused on the destination and try to tune out some of the noise. Again, back to that channeled information, don't get lost in the shuffle. It also applies here. As we're looking at your environment, things should start to get a little bit more comfortable for you towards the end of the month. Whatever fear existed, you start to acknowledge some of it might have been more emotionally charged. Some of it might reveal itself and you'll understand why you felt it. Just breathe through it and know that I do see an improvement towards the middle to the latter part of the month. Biggest challenge for you this month is, I feel like it has to do with mobility. I have 2 cards here showing some issues with like either pain or feeling lethargic or not feeling rested. So I want you to pay attention to sleep quality. That's something that came up for think it was Pisces this month as well. So I want to make sure that you are paying attention to, sort of how you've set up your sleeping environment. And for you, I think it has a lot more to do with the thoughts in your head before you go to sleep. For Pisces, I said it might have to do with the bed, but for you, I think it has less to do with like the mattress or the pillows, and it has more to do with what do you watch and what do you listen to, an hour or two before you go to bed. I want you to start to program more positive energy, either through meditation or what you're listening to. Just make sure that it's of a higher frequency so that by the time you wind down and go to bed, your mind is in a nice relaxed state. Maybe it's a good time to spend with a pet if you have it, taking a walk before you go to bed, or again, just listening to some meditation music will also aid in that effort. Let's go ahead now and expand your forecast and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Your health message for this month is to not be afraid for those of you that are unhappy with a medical situation in your life, or don't feel like you're maybe as healthy as you have been, or something's off a little bit. This is about seeking help, and for some of you, seeking a second opinion, especially for something that's really important. If it has to do with surgery or has to do with some sort of a long-term issue, seek out proper medical care this month. So do your research, get second opinions, and know that it's important to go to doctors, and sometimes it gets away from us. So that's the main message. The only other thing that I see with that, because the Hermit card is associated with being kind of stuck in house and home, I want you to try to get out as much as you can. It's going to help not just your physical state, but also your mental state, and really improve your general approach and outlook to life. All right, let's take a look now at your wealth card. So let me give this a nice good shuffle, and we'll look at wealth. For wealth, this is a month where you might feel like your money situation isn't necessarily going in the right direction, or there may be some unexpected costs, or you may just feel the issues of money weighing a little bit more heavily on you than they have before. Know that even with this card in reverse, the Ace of Pentacles really speaks to new opportunities and new solutions. They just may be a little bit harder for you to find. So I want you to, much like you did with the doctor, not be afraid to seek out some assistance. This could be just talking to a family member that's really good with investments or with money, and making sure that you understand everything, looking at the fine print. And if you are feeling like things are going, your output is a little bit higher than your input as far as cash flow goes, then think about what you can do to be smarter, to perhaps earn money in a different way, or to grow the money that you have. Because I feel that it's better, or there's more solutions than you may know. So this is why you want to ask someone. This is your crowning, and this is your outcome. Let's now take a look. We looked at health, wealth. Let's look at your love for this month and see what's coming through as far as relationships go. For love this month, don't be afraid to go out on a limb and seek out what you're looking for. So for some of you, this is making the first move in a relationship. If you're in an existing relationship, it's also taking the initiative and saying, let's do something together tonight. Let's hang out. Let's go to a movie. Or, this is about valuing yourself and going after what you want in love and in relationships. Also feeling like if you were to create like an internal mantra that you would say, I am worthwhile of this, like I'm worth this. And so feeling a good sense of self-worth and knowing that people should be really, really happy to be in your presence. Once you feel that and start to exude that, then you attract people that really are happy to be in your presence. So work on that internally first, though. Now let's take a look at your destiny card and see what is calling as far as destiny comes. Okay, so I do feel like there's a need, and not only a need, but an opportunity for love to expand throughout this month, for creativity to blossom, and also for, if you allow for it, for new relationships to come in. And this is an exploration card. Three of Cups is always about not necessarily meeting someone and deciding, oh my gosh, we're going to be best friends, or you're the love of my life, but it's about going out into social engagements and just having fun and not expecting too much. Strangely enough, that feeling of ease is actually what allows for some of those to become longer lasting. One additional note, for anybody that is ready in their life and feeling a need to possibly start something new. This is a great month for knowledge expansion, acquisition, and also going back to school, taking some sort of an enrichment class. This is something that maybe some of us did in the summertime when we were kids, or haven't done for a long time. But I want you to do something just for fun, but perhaps something that really helps you learn something new about yourself, about the world, about some sort of art or craft or whatever. Don't be afraid to embrace it. That's going to become something for many of you that you could monetize, and at the very least, that's going to help improve your self-worth. And just to review what we talked about today, your channeled information was to make sure that you didn't get lost in the shuffle, to not allow for your own energy to be subdued by others, and really to speak up when it's important in your life. As we looked at the cards today, what we see at the center is a need to really focus on control issues in your life, not to give away power to others. And if someone in the past did take your power or did overpower you in some area, know that that was the past and you are in a different place now. There's a choice this month, a choice to be more optimistic when it comes to your relationships, and we saw that with your love card here. And there's also a chance to reach out and make new relationships happen. So remember that you are an agent of change in all aspects of your life, but particularly in friendships and love this month. Don't be afraid to ask others for help. Think of new solutions and be creative with not just the money that you're making, but the money that you have. Pay special attention to your body. Don't be afraid to ask for some assistance and get a second opinion when and if that's appropriate. Again, when it comes to your money, some of you may find yourself doing a part-time job this month. For love, go out on a limb. I want you to find ways to spend more time with your loved ones. And for those of you that are single or may not have a really big family, this is about doing things that make you happy, that you derive joy from. So overall, a very good month. Just focus on your health, though. That's the one thing that I see that's really important. And see a doctor if you need to, or get a second opinion if that is important to you. All right, so that brings us to a close of our November reading. Just a reminder, schedule-wise, that I will be taking off the month of December. However, I'll do a brief reading at the beginning of the month, one for all signs. And for those of you that would like to schedule an appointment with me, November's a very good month. I won't be working in December, but I will be back in January. So take a look and book according to that. Just wanted to let you know why there isn't a lot of availability in December. If you'd like to stay in touch, I would love for you to do so. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And additionally, you can just decide to subscribe to this channel if you like this content. I have a newsletter as well, and that's a great way to know when new videos are posted. And all of this will be in the description area below. If you'd just like to give some support and donate to this channel, I would love for that because this is basically viewer supported. So there's a link to donate as well in that description area. Otherwise, I'd just like to say thank you so much. Every month I work on all of these videos with the hope that we can have more light workers in this world, more people that are tuning into their own intuition and moving away from fear, from frustration, from hatred. This is really what we have to focus on now, especially when all this stuff is going on in the world. It's important to have a very clear sense of our own mind, our own body, and our own energy. So keep doing that from month to month. And from my heart to yours, I wish you the best. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.